Hello, ladies, and thank you for tuning in to the Joy for Midlife Women. This program is dedicated to women in their 50s and 60s who want to stay vibrant and inspired. My name is Cheryl Jones, your host, and if this is your first time visiting this program, let me give you a joyful, warm welcome. The topic today is about celebrating ourselves, giving ourselves the gift of well-being. Specifically, we want to talk about keeping fit so that we will have healthy bones. Now, this is not a glamorous topic. We're not talking about what color we should do our hair as we age or how to prevent wrinkles. We're going to go inside and think about our bone health because if we want to stay vibrant, we have to stay fit and have good, healthy bones. So you may want to take notes, grab your pen and paper, and let's get started. Okay, I want to share some facts with you about our bone health. About 8 million women in the United States have osteoporosis, and 30 million more women may get the disease, which can cause bones to break with something as harmless as a sneeze, according to the National Osteoporosis Foundation. We can't on our own identify the beginning of bone density loss. The thing about bones is you can't see or feel that they're getting weak. The good news is that there is a mineral density test that your physician can provide you, and some of you may have had this test. Our health after age 50 and 60 may be different, but it doesn't have to be downhill. We do have time to ensure good bone health with simple changes like eating more vitamin C and D and eating more fruits and veggies. Most importantly, to help our bones, we must continue to exercise at home and to focus on weight training. Just like our muscles, bones too get stronger with physical activity. Now I'm going to share with you a video from my friend who is a certified fitness coach. Her name is Dr. Hema Murty. I will share more about Dr. Murty in a moment. But Dr. Murty became aware that I had a knee surgery in the past months, and I'm recovering very well with physical therapy and home exercises. But both my physical therapist and Dr. Murty have continued to remind me that once recovered, I must return to staying very active, that I must take care of my bones and my joints. The impact of every step sends signals to our bones to grow stronger and to help us to stay mobile. In conversation with Dr. Hema Murty, she stated, exercise is one of the best ways to maintain and increase bone density and bone strength. But she reminds us, before beginning any exercise routine, you need to check with your healthcare provider. Now, whatever your age, taking care of your bones and joints is critical to maintaining your strength and mobility. We must try to avoid arthritis and osteoporosis from slowing us down or changing our lifestyle. I have a short video from Dr. Murty providing us exercise to get your body ready for weight training.
All right, so in order to engage your muscles from a level 0 point of view, if you're first time starting out with weight training, you need to start activating muscles, like the major muscles, like your hips, your glute muscles, your quads, and your thigh muscles. The larger muscles in the body, and especially in the lower part of the body, try to engage, activate them before you continue on with any kind of a serious weight training, escalating your weights training to actually using dumbbells. Before you do that, you must activate the muscles with body weight. A really good way to start is to do something called Bodyweight Bridges, which is a bridge positioning on the floor. So you would position yourself on your back. Okay, for the moment, we're going to park the ball somewhere else. Well, we'll use that to do a reverse lunge, which I will show you after. So your first thing is going to be that you're going to do a bridge. So you're going to be on your back, on the floor. All right, feet are hip width apart, so your feet are relatively close to your butt, to a comfort zone. You shouldn't have any discomfort in your knees in this position. All right, so your palms are generally facing in a comfortable location. I like to say, if you can and there's no discomfort, have the palms face up. And that way you're not pressing when you're lifting your butt. All right, your core is tight. You contract your core. Try to pace, if you can, as comfortably as possible with the lower back on the floor. And then also, let's try not to get the shoulders in. In the head, of course, is comfortable. Shoulders are on the floor, so try not to curl. Try to keep your shoulders down as much as possible. So you're going to inhale, 3, 2, 1, and on the exhale, you're going to lift your butt up to as far as you can, to a straight line between your knees and your shoulders. Should have a nice straight line. So you inhale down, 3, 2, 1, and exhale up, 3, 2, 1. Inhale down, and exhale up. And you would do this whole exercise about 8, 9 times. And then hug your knees to your chest to release any back tension you may have from that, in case that was the first time you've tried that. Or in general, it's always nice to release the back if you have incurred any back tension. All right, so roll to one side, come to standing. And now we'll show you a body weight reverse lunge. So this, after you've activated those hip muscles, your glutes and your hamstrings, during that process, you then have some warm-up going on. You've warmed up those muscles. And now we can go to what's called a body weight reverse lunge with a blocked knee. So the reason we block the knee is so in this case you have some stability, because there's many moving parts to a reverse lunge. There's the knee, there's the glute activity to take the leg back, there's the hamstring, and then there's also stabilizer muscle of the leg that's forward. So basically a reverse lunge is when you're standing vertically. Okay, temporarily forget that I've got the ball. But a reverse lunge is taking the leg back, keeping this other leg stable. Core is contracted, shoulders are down and back. Squeeze so you're not using shoulders. And then you want to take that knee back, and in one motion bring it forward. Now, so the reason here you can immediately see that we're using the blocked knee, meaning the knees are butt right up against. I use a ball. You can use a bench. You can use anything where you can keep your knees against it. I just happen to have a ball handy that's at the right height for my knees. So I use it, and it's also nice and soft for the knees, so you're not hitting anything hard. All right, so the core is tight. You're keeping the opposite knee pushed against the ball, and that keeps it supported. So you inhale, and then you exhale. Now you can bring your hands up as if you're holding a weight dumbbell and your chest, but make sure your shoulders don't rise. Keep your core tight, and you can just clasp your fingers in front of your chest. So you exhale, take the knee back, inhale back, reset the body, core tight, and it would look like this. All right, and you would do that for about 8 reps. And of course, you have to switch sides. So block the knee with the right, core is tight again, reset with the shoulders, everything tight, squeeze your butt. Exhale and you take it back. In one motion. Now, if you see any wobbliness in returning that foot back to its vertical or in traversing it back, then you need to take this whole process down one notch and maybe do some floor exercises which would activate more of your posterior chain. In other words, you maybe face down and you might want to do some leg lifts facing down, prone condition. So this is a great exercise for doing a body weight activated with the glutes and the hamstrings. Actually, it's kind of like a whole body because you're stabilizing with your upper body too. So blocked knee reverse lunges are a great way to start out with weight training. And if any issues occur, you can contact me at the Champy Fitness channel. We'll talk later.
Dr. Hema Murty is a level 2 PN certified fitness coach. You can contact her at hema@getshanty.com. Her business name is Shanty Fitness. And at Shanty Fitness, they believe a holistic approach is the best way for fitness, individualized exercise program, and suggested meals and more. Most of her videos are on YouTube. Visit Shanty Fitness on YouTube.
I am Coach Siva. I do training for women over 50 who are active professionals with pain. I get them out of their pain zone through an integrated work combination of workouts and nutrition and yoga therapy. And they enjoy life, they get out of pain, and that's my goal, is that women over 50, we should be enjoying life. And the more earlier we can do that, faster to enjoying life we can get, the faster we'll all be happy and be productive and be resourceful in the world. So I'm glad to be here talking to
Cheryl Jones, and I'm so happy to be here with you, Dr. Hema, to join you. We're on the same path. I have Joy magazine for women for 50 plus. And yes, maybe this is a different type of a pain that I'm trying to move women out of, moving women out of where they are into their best life, really being mindful about that, and giving them good content about their everyday life. That's what Joy magazine is all about.
For sure. I feel that joy in anything is really the key for people to be productive. You cannot be productive if you don't have joy. And certainly your magazine talks the talk, because this is the one thing that we're missing. In fact, if you're pain-free and still haven't found the joy, you're still a little bit on the behind of the curve that you could be a little more productive. So you need this combination of Cheryl's joy and my ability to get people away from pain. I know a lot of my clients just wake up with limitations and they can't do this or that. And so that's where we're coming from. But once they get there, they still need to find the joy. So really glad to discover a little bit about this magazine and this resource. So how did Joy magazine come about?
Sure, Dr. Hema. I think it was out of a little bit of pain for myself, but here's what happened. When I was in my midlife, I was experiencing like the biological changes, physical changes, and probably emotional changes as well, being in a professional career, woman and mother and wife. And, you kind of suppress a lot of feelings that you might have. Yeah. And there's a lot going on in our life when we are in our 45s and moving into 50 and such. And so I was very fortunate, though, because I was involved in a lot of women's business networking groups. So I had a support system. I was involved in women ministry. I even led women ministry groups. So that was very supportive for me at an important time in my life.
Yeah.
But I was reading. I did a lot of reading, and as I started reading about find your joy, live your best life, in your second stage of life. And I was trying to digest that. And I think Joy magazine came out of a need for myself, but the result came into wanting to help other women. Wanting to help other women to live their best life allows me to write and research and bring wonderful women together as a forum, as a network, through Joy magazine. And it was birthed just like that.
It was amazing. I mean, when you're speaking to the actual thing, and when I talked about being pain-free and finding joy, but the one element you hit on, which is quintessential, is connection. Women, we are social beings. We work really well when we're connected. And in fact, the strength comes from connecting with the same frequency-minded women. And if we're all trying to find that one, equation that will get us to be more productive in our day and just be the best we can be and service our world better, then I think you've really hit it, because a community has to exist, and your magazine certainly addresses that, which is, quite amazing. So let's talk about this. You hit on that demographic of, the unique issues with women over 50. I'm certainly an expert on, because I've been training women in that category for a while. We're 15 years now in business. So really happy to understand that, this is a well served demographic by your product, your magazine. Let us know what it is that the magazine can do for that demographic. How does it serve that group of people?
Middle life, women in their midlife are experiencing, whether they're well educated in professional jobs, and they may be overwhelmed. And we start to relax and sit back and look at television, and we see the celebrities' lives. And then we pick up magazines on the counters in the stores. We start buying those magazines, and we see the celebrity homes, and we see the perfect lives and everything. We don't see our daily lives enough, right? We don't see women winning in our daily lives. And so Joy does that. Joy talks about everyday topics, whether it's DIY projects at home, environmentally safe products. We share brands of products that we feel good about, that we know are either women supported products or products produced by women. So this is an opportunity in Joy Magazine that women have a voice, and they have a voice to encourage one another. Like you, Dr. Hema, we do a lot of fitness talking and sharing in the magazine in short articles. And it's not so we can look good for someone else, but it's so we can feel good. And then we'll have that joy that you're saying. Absolutely. But we walk around carrying a lot of pain in our bodies from stress, and we don't know how to get rid of it.
Totally true. I know you're speaking, the very thing that people need to hear, because you're the one in front of all the zeros. And if you're serving a world, and they really will be impacted by your sense of being whole and satisfied with yourself. If you have a family, if you have a job, people that you service in your job, in your business, people that you service, outside in the community, women are really community minded. As I said earlier, and we tend to go out in the community. We do a lot of volunteer work, almost not because we think, oh, I'm going to do volunteer, but it's almost a reaction from our heartfelt, kind of a female centric mindset that we have of caring. And so, if someone's in trouble, it's almost like, oh, we get up automatically, even without planning a priority. We just say, okay, what can I do? And we get up on our feet, we think on our feet, we think fast. But if we haven't spent the time in the morning to do any regular self-care, like you talked about, and fed our soul into being the full potential that it can discover and create that joy from that self-nurturing sequence. So you really address the right topic for that audience.
So, I realized when I turned 60, as I slid into 60, I started saying, we don't get a do-over. This is it, right? You got to make it work. And so many of us, when we are aging, we start to think about, well, we got to do what's expected of us, right? We got to act our age. I don't think so. We have to, we have to live our best life. And that's what the theme of Joy Magazine is. And that's what I try to bring out, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through cooking, whether it's through health articles. And I look for women writers and authors that are interested in bringing that kind of content out and sharing that. That's why I'm really glad that we were able to connect, Dr. Hema, because
absolutely,
you have such a wealth of information about fitting life and joy painlessly, getting rid of that pain so we can have it.
That's right.
Have a best life.
That's right. And now with the pandemic, we're all acutely aware of mental pain and physical pain. And sometimes the physical pain is caused by mental pain. We're discovering that through this 1 year in the pandemic. So you're really speaking, really wise words here, because
if people don't address these issues, and get together. So we've addressed many things that through your magazine and through your content and through my programs, we've been able to establish some similar base items for the average person in this, average woman in this demographic, 50 and up, need to have. And if they don't have them, you run the risk of underservicing your world, because you're at your full potential. If you don't take care of yourself, you have to put that oxygen mask on yourself before you assist other people. Otherwise, there is that risk of sliding. If you don't have community, I mean, a lot of people have some community because, we all have friends, but sometimes it's nice to go sideways into a whole network of women in that same group, because your current network may not address some issues. They may remain unaddressed, and you might be suffering in silence.
So ladies, I do hope you have found this information about your bone health helpful. I look forward to hearing your comments about our programming and how we may be able to bring other topics of interest to you. If you know of a business or a service to share with other women, contact me at joyeditor19@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to Joy for Midlife Women this year. We look forward to seeing you in 2022. Have a happy new year. Stay joyful.